Metallic inks are a very common feature used in printing. They convey that sense of luxury and class. So, for example, you might see it on a piece of packaging, you might see it on people's business cards, or even like we're showing here, on a credit card. And although it doesn't really look much like a metallic card at the moment, it will do when we're finished with it. So we've designed this card with a few different layers in here. First of all, we've got a gold layer, a silver layer. We also have some hologram layers which we'll set up and emboss gold foil. We've got a mask in there as well, and it's also detected a Pantone color. Now, we don't have a Pantone library in here, so there's nothing in here to import Pantone colors. The same with any brand color. You can import it and set it up yourself manually, and then save it as a preset. So we're going to demonstrate how that's done as well. So anything with a warning sign basically means you need to configure that layer. So we'll come back to that Pantone one later. Let's just see what we've got first of all. So we've got a silver, we'll come back to that one later as well. Okay, so what we have here, we have the starting point of our card. So first of all, let's mask that out. So we've got a mask on there, so we're going to mask that. Let's set up the hologram layers, and do pay attention to our other tutorial videos that explains about how to set these sort of things up. I'm just going to set these to the rainbow holographic and just make a few little subtle tweaks. So basically a hologram is just a rainbow holographic effect. So we can set those up on our file. The emboss, okay, so it's a little bit too high for an emboss on here, and the bevel looks a little bit too high, so we can bring that down, and maybe the shadow's a little bit too high. So we can basically fine tune it to where we want to get our kind of like embossed effect. That's on like our digits, etc. We've got a gold foil. If we want to, we can change that gold foil to something else. Maybe the gold foil that we have here is not quite as gold as you need it to be, in which case you can fine tune it to your own preferred and then save it as a preset. So you can save it in the presets folder. And then down on the actual gold itself. So at the moment we've got this gold in here. We're actually going to put some metallic flake inside there. And that gold color we could change to something else if we wanted to. So again, we have the ability to go in here and change what that gold might look like. So again, we can fine tune it and match things. So now we're getting kind of like that kind of like American Express gold credit card. And if we move this in the light, let's just take a look at what's going on with that rainbow hologram. So you can see there, we've got 3 levels of the rainbow holographic effect in there, which gives that color shifting. We've got the metallic flake that you see quite often on credit cards, and that's a great way to be able to see different types of metallic effect. And obviously if we don't have any emboss on there, those effects will kind of like disappear. So we've now simulated a high pixel type of flake. Now we can get rid of that flake size, so now we've just got a smooth metallic. Maybe the metallic's on a different type of process whereby we have more metalness in there. It's more like a really high shiny foil like we get on a flexo press or a gravure press. So we can tailor this to match all different types. Now obviously we could do that the same with the silver. Maybe we're doing this on say for example on a Ricoh machine with a little bit of that silver sparkle that you see. So it's a subtle sparkle. You can see if we just look at this down here and zoom in, you'll see that we've got that sparkling effect. We can also play around with our lighting and shading if we want to, so we can set this up however we want it. Now we did say that we also have a unknown spot color here. Let's just bring that down to the bottom, so we're going to print that down first. So this would identify it as a bright green, so anything that needs to be set up usually shows it as a bright green color. So we can go in here and we can put in the color value for the RGB for that type of ink. So according to doing a search on Google, the correct RGB color is that for Pantone 8005, and then all we have to do is click this little box here to make it metallic. So now we have a metallic set up. We can save it as a default, and again we could put in a little bit of metallic sparkle into there, and now we have our dedicated metallic color. We could also do things like printing onto a base material. So metallic can also come from the material, whether that's printing onto a foil. So this could be like a silver foil. Maybe we've got a rainbow holographic material that it's being printed onto, or maybe it's a brushed metal business card. So we can design things in different ways based on obviously what we want to do with the design. So now we have this brushed aluminium or aluminum, depending on which country you reside in. So there's different ways to be able to work with the files, and it's really easy to do. So in this case, what we would normally be showing is we would be showing it printing onto a plastic material. So the plastic would probably be like a goldish kind of colored plastic to kind of like simulate something around maybe this sort of like color. Let's just get it around about there. And then on that gold, we maybe, like I say, we have that little bit of flake on there. And that way we can simulate different types of effects. So great way to be able to add your different embellishments to your designs. Really simple, really easy. Play around with it, get the idea of how things work, play with the sliders. What does the highlight thing do? If I put the things too high, it goes very sharp. You get this, because obviously the higher it is, they've got more surface to reflect on those edges. So by bringing it down and by increasing the shadows a little bit, you can simulate that really more realistic kind of embossed effect. So we always try and show you what the sliders do. And like I said, in a lot of these tutorial videos, it's a lot of it is about doing more than just the basics. We just want to show you, yes, we can teach you how to do a metallic and set that up, but also, metallics could, like I say, come from the substrate, and it could be in a foil layer. They're all very similar sort of effects. And we like to show you how you can combine things. So you could print onto like we're showing here, like a goldish colored plastic, and then print a metallic ink over the top and create that two-dimensional effect that you're seeing there. So a great way to be able to visualize all your finishes, and in this case, showing off the decorative use of metallic inks and pigments.